All right. Hey, welcome to Christmas with Bigz. With me is the ghost of Christmas future present, Charlie. How
Ho,
you
ho,
doing,
ho, here
Charlie?
we go. Good. How about you doing today, Biggs?
Good. We got our Christmas festivities started today. We took off to Sonoma for the father-in-law's house. I can't figure out where I'm at with this. And I've already gotten some text messages asking me starts and sits questions. So if there's anybody out there, we'll be taking your starts and sits questions. Charlie's not prepared for this, but so here's the deal. So the Fantasy Forecast starts and sits show. They usually come out Friday and Saturday. We were going to record today because tomorrow's Christmas. And I had a family thing come up, so I wasn't able to be there for the recording. So I told Mike, hey, I'm going to throw something up at night when I get back, and I'll do the starts and sits that I had on the show sheet for that show. I'll present those. So I'm taking 2 starts and 2 sits. You didn't know this, so if you want to come up with a couple, we will get into that. And
I
then,
can give you one right off the bat.
well, let's wait a little bit because we got to give the people what they came for. Currently, it's Christmas Eve. I am watching the Hawaii Bowl with California.
Okay.
Roll on, you Bears. Up by 7 on Hawaii. I bet on the game today.
Did you?
Yeah, it's.
What was the spread on that?
Cal was favored by 3.5. And I get a 2.38x bonus. So Cal wins by 4. I win 29 on my $12 bet.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that because I think Cal has the capacity to absolutely destroy this Hawaii team. And I love Jerome Keawe Sangapolitelli. He has pledged his commitment to stay at Cal, and I made a dynasty trade in which I gave up, I forgot who it was, but they were pretty good and they were going to help somebody down the stretch. And it's a campus to Canton league, so we have college players. So I got back Cam Scadaboo, who I absolutely love.
Awesome.
I got Danny Scudero. He was the San Jose State wide receiver that led college football in receiving. And as soon as he announced that he was entering the transfer portal, I was like, okay, he's going Power 5, and I'm grabbing him and Devi.
So that's how it works, huh? Nice.
Yeah, Kenyon Sadiq, the Oregon tight end, who's probably coming out in this draft, and then JKS, Jerron Keawe Sangapolitelli. So I gave up a piece, an expiring piece, to help somebody in the playoffs. I'm getting back Scadaboo, who will be better next year, and then these 3 pieces, one who's going to be in the NFL next year in Kenyon Sadiq, and then 2 who are over the next couple years going to be entering the NFL. So it's progressive building for the future. I thought so.
I do like the Cam. Yeah, the Cam Scadaboo pickup really nice. He's a local kid.
Yep.
Came from a D5 high school team, went through Sac State, did very well at Arizona State. He translated his college running style into NFL, which nobody thought they were going to do. So up until when he got hurt, he was high on a lot of lists. So that's a good pickup, and he's already walking. So
and
I don't disagree with that at all.
The other part of his game, like we all watch that he runs like a bowling ball covered in kitchen knives.
Yes, and he's got great feet.
But it's really his production in the receiving game. When he was at Arizona State his senior year, in Division 1 in the FBS, he was the leading receiver. The leading receiver in NCAA among running backs, Lan Larison, UC Davis, a current New England
There you
Patriot.
go.
Let's go.
Very good.
I have
Aggie,
him
baby.
everywhere. And yeah. All right, so let's get into this cocktail. So I have a glass full of ice. And I'm going to go.
Yes, we do.
I got my jigger. And I'm going to do 1 ounce of vodka.
Okay.
I've got.
Oh, I know what that jar is.
Mel's Kahlua.
Yes, you do. Mel's a Kahlua.
So one day, Charlie and I did a show, and after the show, my partner Rebecca, aka Adequate Grandma, she bounced up the hill to Charlie's house with Melissa and made this homemade Kahlua. So it's
Yes, they did.
about to go into a Russian, and what better way to have a Russian than a chocolate Russian? So I'm putting in, I don't know how to do this, I'm winging it, so 3 ounces of Kahlua. And then I'm just going to fill, viewers know that I love these little Nestle
Nesquik? Yes,
I've
they
used
are
these
good.
bottles a couple times on the show already. I'm just going to fill the glass the rest of the way with chocolate milk.
Yep.
And there we have, Merry Christmas, everybody. A chocolate Russian. I like how it layers, the milk is sitting under the ice.
Very nice. So I also am doing the Mel's Kahlua, but I did the White Russian because I didn't get chocolate milk in time, and here's mine.
Oh, that Kahlua is really good. So, a little cheers for the holiday cheer. Now, this came from a movie or TV show or something that we were watching. I think it was the orchid thing. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it's an HBO series, and these ladies are drinking, and they're drinking with these Russian guys, and the Russian toast is "Sho Lubov," which means for the love, like love everybody, and the way that it sounded to the American women was Shia LaBeouf. So that's my new cheers. Every time I cheers toast, it's Shia LaBeouf.
All right, here we go. Shia LaBeouf.
All right. What I want to do is go back for the season and just clip all the cocktails that I made and just do one video of just the cocktails.
That's actually pretty good. Then you can put the recipes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to jump to the show sheet real quick.
Okay.
I wasn't in that one. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start with the sits. And my first sit is going to be a Mecca Abuka.
Okay.
We both have dogs. They like to bark. All right, Emeka Buka, over the last few weeks, he saw his target share drop against Carolina last week. He's got Miami this week. It's kind of a mid matchup, but we have seen Jalen McMillan and Mike Evans come back. And Emeka Buka, he increased his yards per target this last week to 20, but he only had 2 targets. The week prior, with no Mike Evans, or I guess Evans was back, he had 7 targets, 4 catches, 9.14 was his yards per target. It's obvious that Emeka Buka is better as a deep threat. He presents more of a problem. But it's going to be a rough weekend, and Baker Mayfield has not been playing well at all. And I think we're going to see some limited production from Ibuka over the course of the rest of the season, 2 more weeks. So fantasy championship, you got to sit Ibuka.
Okay. I got one. Rico Dowdle versus the Seahawks. Seahawks have a great defense. Dowdle's been hot for a while, but I just don't. I don't trust them passing the ball, so the Seahawks are going to load the box and stop the run. So I don't see a big day come out of Rico Dowdle.
I agree with you, and in fact, he was one of the guys that was on my radar to put into the show sheet for the show. And when Mike made the show sheet, he beat me to it. He had Rico Dowdle as a sit. So try not to spoil the fantasy forecast. Still watch the show, but you're going to hear Mike's take on why to sit Rico Dowdle. All right, and then my second sit, and this one just breaks my heart because I love him so much, and he's in one of those situations where once he can get out of the current organization that he's in, which should have happened at the trade deadline, might happen in free agency. This kid behind a good offensive line with a good offense that's going to be scoring a lot of points can be a super high productive running back. In fact, he does have an RB2 finish in his career, and he can get back to that. He can absolutely be a top 5 running back in fantasy, and that's Breece Hall. Breece Hall going up against the New England Patriots.
Yep.
It's a terrible, terrible matchup. They did see New England earlier this season in Week 11. He had 14 carries, 8.4 fantasy points. He finishes RB 33. That was still in, kind of like, is Justin Fields coming back and he does better when Fields is there and blah, blah, blah. And that was the beginning of the end, basically. He had a couple double-digit finishes after that against Baltimore and Atlanta, but then 4.3 points, 5.7 points, 8.3 points. It's obvious that the situation that they have right now in New York is not conducive to Breece Hall being productive. Don't lose your championship because you have Breece Hall in your lineup.
Right on. No, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't at all. I have another one. I have Isaiah Pacheco versus the Broncos. We all know Broncos have a fabulous defense. With Mahomes being out, there's no threat to pass the ball, so Broncos are going to be keying up, and I don't see anybody having a big day against that defense.
I went and just about everywhere that I could, I grabbed the Broncos defense. The matchup doesn't look. There are 2 matchups that don't look great on the Sleeper app. They're color coded. One of them is Indianapolis, and the other is Kansas City. If you look at the defense that they're playing against, it doesn't look like it's a great matchup. But we're talking like a 16-week sample size. And yes, Indy was tough against defenses when Daniel Jones was putting up a ton of points, when Jonathan Taylor was putting up a ton of points, when the Indy offense was rumbling against pretty bad teams. They weren't kind to defensive special teams in fantasy. But something funny happened along the way. Phillip Rivers is now the starting quarterback, and he's good for an interception every week. They don't move the ball quite as well. The 49ers absolutely ganged up on Phillip Rivers, and Jacksonville's defense is nothing to sneeze at, and they're playing for something. And there we got a Cal touchdown.
Awesome.
Woo! Roll on you Bears. Kendrick Raphael.
Yeah, buddy.
I have him in, I've played with him a bunch in CFB 26, and I absolutely love that Cal team. All right. And so the Denver defense, not only do they not have Mahomes, they don't even have Gardner Minshew.
No.
They have Olodokun, who was like a low-level draft pick, if he was even drafted, if he wasn't a UDFA, out of South Dakota FCS school.
Yep.
1 game under his belt. They're down Rashee Rice. They're down somebody else. Maybe it's Hopkins. Maybe they're down somebody else. And one thing that we saw from Gardner Minshew's performance last year with the Raiders is if Gardner Minshew's on the field, you can bring the safeties down into the box. You can play cover 0. Nobody's going to beat you deep. And they don't have Rashee Rice. There might be Xavier Worthy might be a downfield threat, but are you going to trust Olodokun to get the ball to him? So you can play 9 in the box.
You can. And if Rashee Rice isn't there, they're going to bracket Worthy, so they're going to take that away.
Yeah, and Kelsey, and they'll take away Pacheco and Hunt. So it's going to be a bad day all around for Kansas City. The one thing that I'm scared of with Kansas City is that they go into Week 18 against the Raiders and give up and hurt our draft odds. Because I don't see us beating the Giants this weekend. That puts us in the driver's seat for the number 1 pick. And if we beat Kansas City and don't get the help that we need from the other teams that are at 2-3 wins, we might be stuck with a mid top 10 pick again, which is not what we need. We need the number 1. We need the number 1. We need to make the decisions with the number 1. We need to be in control. We need to be able to trade out if we need to, if we find a big enough package. If we can trade back and still get Mendoza at the 3, we need to be able to do that, but we have to have that control. And if we beat the Chiefs, that's not going to happen. We have to be 2-15.
Yeah, it's literally that's what the weekend is. You guys are playing a 2-14 team as well, or whatever it is. So it's a battle of who's going to get that number 1 seed. The Giants are what? They're 2 and
they're the same.
Yep.
Both 2-14. Uh, and right now the Giants, because of their strength of schedule, they are the one.
Okay.
But here's the thing: I don't think that the Raiders can beat them. I think their defense is better than the Raiders, at least on paper anyway. And the Raiders had a good game last week against Houston.
They
Surprising.
did. I was very surprised.
It was very surprising. But the Raiders, no Brock Bowers. Speaking
Oh.
of, are you related to Brock Bowers?
No, I did check. Funny thing is, my sister did live up in the Napa area where he went to high school. But it is nice to see your last name on a jersey in the NFL, even if it is not yours.
Yeah, I mean, there is one Booth who has been in the NFL recently. He was a cornerback for Minnesota. And then there's a running back at Mississippi State named Devon Booth, who should be coming into the NFL soon. So hopefully I can get a Booth jersey. I got a Brock Bowers jersey if you want to if you want to wear a Raiders jersey.
Nah. I can always wear my kids' high school jerseys and I'll have my name on the back.
That's true. And you can always wait until Brock signs with the 49ers in free agency.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be deadly. Him and Kittle. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's about 7-8 years away. I think they're gonna keep giving him contracts, and yeah. All right, so let's get to our starts. The first start that I have, and so this is 3 weeks in a row that this guy has been a start on my show sheet, and
Okay.
I've just been pumping him up because I love the profile, I love the situation, and let me get to the stats real quick. So week 15, I said start him. He finishes with 18.7 points as wide receiver 12, 5 targets, 3 catches, 2 touchdowns. I said start him in week 16, 18.1 points, finishes wide receiver 16. So when I do starts and sits for the show, basically what I'm doing is on the sits, I'm looking at guys inside the top 12 at quarterback, top 24 at running back, top 36 at wide receiver, top 12 at tight end. With the starts, I'm looking at guys outside of the top 12 who have the opportunity to play in. So with wide receivers, it's guys who are sitting outside the top 36 that have the opportunity to do better. And so 2 finishes, his last 4 finishes have all been within wide receiver 24, wide receiver 19, 21, and then the last 2 weeks, 12 and 16. He's got a fantastic matchup this weekend against the Chicago Bears. Jawan Jennings was one of my early season favorites because of the Brandon Ayuk situation, because of what Jennings did last year when Ayuk wasn't on the field. The fact that they got rid of Deebo Samuel, I was all in 100% on Jawan Jennings. He's currently sitting at wide receiver 37. He has a ton of incentives that if he gets, I want to say it's in the 75 yards and a touchdown or 2 range, he's going to earn himself like close to $750,000 just for this game. So he's incentivized to go out there and have a huge game. He has been the last couple weeks. Purdy's been feeding him. He's really, really good. Kittle is questionable at this point. We don't know how bad his ankle injury is. Pearsall has been kind of down. And Brock Purdy's been on fire. So Jawan Jennings, fire him up, win your championship.
Absolutely. I was actually going to say Jawan Jennings as well, but I was going to use the excuse because personally I had DK Metcalf, and he decided to be a knucklehead and get himself suspended. And I looked at on my bench, and I had Jawan Jennings sitting there, and I was super excited to see that he's projected at 14 plus points in the Yahoo Fantasy Leagues. So I was going with him, and that would be my first start. My second start would probably be, I hate to say it, I really do, but I think it's going to be DeAndre Swift. He's the kind of guy we struggle with. He's very good catching the ball out of the backfield. He's fast, and I think with the fact that Caleb Williams can bomb that ball down the field, we're going to play a soft coverage over the top to try and keep everything in front and nothing deep. So he's going to have a lot of dump-off passes, very similar to what Christian McCaffrey gets. So my second one would be DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, and I also had a hard time benching Kyle Monangai because those two have produced together.
Yeah.
and I did. The league that I have with DK Metcalf, I'm in the championship, and the only way that I could pivot, it's a deep league, was Mason Tipton.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was so mad, especially when like the appeal came and they denied his appeal. Yeah, and then in that same league, I have Brock Bowers, who's been listed as downgraded to out. It's just like you keep taking him on the chin throughout the season, and it's really hard.
It is.
It's really hard. All right, so I'm going to get into my final start, and I'm going to say fire up Jackson Dart.
Yes.
Coming off a game where he had 0.02 fantasy points against the Minnesota defense. Minnesota has a good defense.
Yeah.
It's Brian Flores. Like, he absolutely shut Dart down. Somehow, throughout the season, Wan'Dale Robinson is like a top 15 wide receiver, which is great to see. But It shows you the attrition that happens at the wide receiver position, guys coming in and falling out of those top 15 spots. And also what a high target volume, even though you don't score a lot of touchdowns, get a lot of yards, in PPR leagues, if you get a lot of targets, then you can find yourself in a situation where you are a Wan'Dale Robinson owner, and he's wide receiver 15. Fourth year, best year of his career so far, 126 targets. So he's about 14 shy of last year. So he's going to sit right there. He's probably going to get 14 targets over the next couple games. And Jackson Dart is the beneficiary of that. So everybody that watches this show knows how high I am on Jackson Dart. And I did list him as a sit last week because I was very scared of him against the Minnesota Vikings defense. In other games that he's played against tough defenses, he had 19 points against the Chargers, 23 against Philly, and 19 again against Philly. 22 against Washington, which is a good matchup. So 27 against your Niners, 26 against the Chicago Bears. So his floor to ceiling play is right around 19 to 25 points. That's going to win you a championship.
Agreed. I actually did have him in one of my leagues. I had him in ESPN, and I couldn't pull him out. If he was playing, I couldn't pull him out. He always produced pretty much right around projection and above more often than not. So I like Wan'Dale Robinson as well. He really came on this year, and between him and Jackson Dart, because of the Cam Scottaboo situation, he still was able to produce, and that's when you know you got a receiver that can get separation, that runs tight routes, that knows how to sit in zones, and exact chemistry with your quarterbacks. So
yeah,
I definitely agree with him. He did well for me this year as well.
And the thing that I've always pounded the desk about as far as Jackson Dart is concerned is his ability to run the ball. He brings more of a running game to the table than C.J. Stroud did last week against the Raiders. The Raiders have been playing like through the first half of the season, their cornerbacks were a little bit underrated. It was kind of hard to throw against them. The last 2 weeks, it's been even harder. Darian Rogers is like coming into his own. They got rid of, they stopped playing Darnay Holmes, who gave up a huge bomb. Like, basically, Darnay Holmes on one play made Shadur Sanders into a thing for a couple weeks. But they also, don't have a whole lot to play for. Brock Bowers is out, so the offense is going to have some trouble moving the ball. That Giants' defensive line is, they're legit. They're scary. So I think they're going to have some takeaways. The New York Giants defense is going to have some takeaways. And the more times that Jackson Dart has the ball in his hands, the better. He's a very accurate passer, and he can scamper. He's got that rushing touchdown upside. He's absolutely a smash play this week, even though he was a sit for me last week. So fire up Jackson Dart. All right, and then we got a question from Pierce Kelly, 4583. Thanks for tuning in, and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. However you like to do it. Pierce Kelly says, Zay Flowers. I'm assuming that's Zay Flowers, not Zay Jones. Teteroa McMillan. Don't call him Tet. Christian Watson, PJ, Malik Washington, Lil Jordan Humphrey need to start 3. That's easy. PJ,
Yep.
Watson,
Zay.
McMillan.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll go with those two. I do kind of like Zay up in that mix too. I wouldn't be surprised if Zay had another great game, but that also depends on whether or not Lamar plays. So yeah, it's a good one. Until I know Lamar's playing, I may wait on the Zay.
And he says leaning towards Zay, Tetaroa, and Christian Watson, but both Casey's corners are on the IR. And Pat Bryant is questionable, so I'm thinking Lil Jordan Humphrey. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that analysis. But rather than going with somebody who is hasn't been part of the game plan, I'm going to go with somebody like McMillan or Christian Watson or PJ. I mean, PJ is like, I have to start him at this point. So
now,
I did.
Is Love playing? Is he cleared concussion protocol?
That's the Christian Watson question. He
Yes.
was practicing. There are 4 layers to
So
to
we
the
have 2
protocol.
quarterbacks and 2 receivers here on this question.
So the return to participation protocol is 4 phases. The first one is symptom-limited activity. They can do the stuff with the training staff, and then they aerobic exercise. They see how it's tolerated. Then aerobic exercise under direct oversight of the medical staff. 5 phases. The third one is football-specific exercise. Supervised training was sport-specific, football-specific activities. They're allowed to practice with the team for 30 minutes or less with ongoing and careful monitoring. Then phase 4, they start getting into club-based non-contact training drills. And then phase 5 is full football activity clearance. So it's a 5-day thing. So Jordan Love is in the phase 4, and he's trying to get to phase 5. So all he has to do is get to phase 5 in their last practice. He'll clear protocol and he'll play, and that seems very likely right now.
Then Watson it is.
Yeah, so I'm sticking with McMillan, Watson, and PJ. All right, and then Mike. Mahalo and Melakaliki Maka, Mike. Bigz, what up, big dog? Made it to the ship in my IDP league? Of course you did. Because you roll with the Bigz dog. All right, looking at Christmas lights with the family. Merry Christmas to you and yours. You as well. Appreciate you being a fan of the show and watching and taking advice and winning championships when you come on and ask questions and stuff. That's awesome. It's good to have that feedback. It makes me know that what I'm doing is for good, like Spider-Man. All right, for IDP help, Devin White, Brooks, Spillane, Sherwood, TJ Edwards. All right, you know how I feel about Spillane. You know how I feel about TJ Edwards. Devin White has been an absolute monster. Let me jump back to my data real quick. All right. So one of the things that I do is I go through and I sort by floor. And that means looking at the leaders, and with IDP linebackers, the floor is number of tackles. So we're looking at Jordan Brooks and Devin White right off the bat. Those are your big 2. Spillane has had some injury issues, but you know I love him. And oh wow, where is he? Did he fall off that? He doesn't even have 100 tackles? Wow. Okay. He's 31st in tackles. So, yeah, Jordan Brooks and Devin White. For me. All right, and then lost Patty and Penix. Now possibly Lamar. Do we roll with Rivers, Kirk, Young, Ward, Sanders? I'm leaning Young and Ward. Cam Ward looks like he's starting to put it together.
Patty. Yes.
So Ward finished as QB 14 against Kansas City last week. New Orleans is a lesser match. Like, that's not a great matchup.
Bryce Young is going against Seattle.
That's rough.
I do like Kirk Cousins. He's been doing well.
Yeah, but he's playing against the Rams.
That's true.
There's
Well,
never a point I will say Sanders. So I think your best options right now,
the old
uh,
man,
Kirk are
Rivers and Kirk.
Kirk. Yeah, I wouldn't say start Rivers either. He's playing against Jacksonville, and they've been a wagon.
That's true.
And we got another touchdown from Cal. It's 21-0. I think my 3.5 point spread is safe.
Let's see here. That's a tough one. Let's see here. We got.
Okay, so I'm going Bryce Young and pray for Lamar.
You know what? I'm gonna say. I know it's gonna be. Well, shoot, that's a tough one. You know how I feel about Sanders. And then Cam Ward, the Titans are playing. Who are they playing? They're
New
playing
Orleans.
the Saints. Yeah, you know what?
So I think New Orleans, Tennessee, they have a chance to either jump out big or have it be kind of like a low-scoring, close game. I think Bryce Young finds himself behind and chucking the ball. I think it's a game script thing with him. And same with Kirk Cousins. I think Atlanta's in trouble, and I think Kirk could be throwing the ball quite a bit. Plus, he's got Drake London back, and Kyle Pitts is good, and he's got Bijan. There's a lot of weapons that he can throw to that can make explosive plays for him. I don't like his accuracy, and I don't like the fact that he's a septuagenarian at this point. But I think that he has the opportunity to get some explosives out of his weapons.
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna go Cam Ward, and I know you're gonna hate this. I'm gonna go Shadur Sanders. I'm gonna go the young guns. They're both young. They've been playing better. I think they have a lot to prove at the end of the season to keep their starting job moving forward. And Bryce Young's too hit and miss for me. Rivers and both the other two got bad matchups. So I'm going to roll with those two guys. I'm going to go with the young guns, Ward and Sanders.
Okay. All I will say is this. Sanders is right around 50% completion percentage, and he's thrown more interceptions than he has touchdowns.
He has. Some of them been tipped, but yes, you're right.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. Everybody who watches the show knows that how I feel about Sanders. All right. Oh, wait. I lost it. All right, and Nick is checking in. I think that's Nick. Do y'all think I start Shuck or Nix to replace the absence of Jordan Love in the championship game? Well, the intel that the Kansas City Chiefs are without their top two cornerbacks leads me to Nix, but I do like Shuck. He's got a good floor, 17 to 18 points. I think you can't go wrong with either of those, but I think Nix has the ceiling on that one. Yes,
Nix will do well. Yeah, I think it's a toss-up, to be honest. Shock has been playing very well for New Orleans. Bo Nix, well, sometimes he can throw stinkers in there, but like you said, it's going against somebody down to their second-string corners. So I think you're good with either or.
Yeah. Again, it's a toss-up, but I lean Nix. All right, and then Pierce Kelly says, Merry Christmas and big shouts out to y'all. Thanks for the advice. Hey, as I say at the end of every show, we hope you win.
Yes.
How we feel about Tyler Shuck this week, specifically him and Taysom Hill connection. Hill or Levlin at tight end, and Shuck or Goff. I got to go. That's a tough one because Levlin has been kind of off, and Kmet is still there. He hasn't carved out a role. When you're evaluating tight ends, what you want is somebody who's going to be in the top three in their target share, and Levlin hasn't been that. Taysom Hill has had one good game, and that was last week, so the recency bias is hard with that one. But there is the possibility that the Saints feel like they unlocked Taysom Hill, and now he's a full go moving forward. Shuck or Goff? I'm going Goff, but what is his...
Who are they playing?
What is his matchup?
They are do or die. Do or die.
They're going up against Minnesota. last time out against Minnesota. He had 20 points last time against Minnesota. So that, I mean, and he hasn't really he's had a couple of 10 and 12 point games. But
I'd go Goff.
Yeah,
he has to perform.
Yeah. You have to tend to lean towards the veterans over the rookies. But I can see how you want, like, Shuck's floor is pretty high. But Goff knows Minnesota pretty well, and he did well against them last time.
Goff is going to guarantee you 15 plus points a game, or if plus. So, and he has to play well. They have to play well. So I think even if there's dump offs to the running backs or whatnot, it's a do or die game for them. They're going to throw everything they got.
Yeah, he had a big game last week, and Jahmyr Gibbs did nothing in the receiving game.
Exactly. They took that away.
Loveland has had 5 over the last 5 weeks. Well, no, let's go even back to week 10. 4, 4, 5, 6, 5, 5, 5 targets. And his finishes have been touchdown dependent. He had that one big finish against Pittsburgh that gave him a tight end 3 finish. I don't think you can trust him. I also don't think that you can trust Taysom Hill. So if you could go to your waiver wire and find A.J. Barner, I think that's going to be a good matchup for you. I inserted Barner in a couple leagues that I lost Brock Bowers in. And there's another one. There is another.
Yes.
Brenton Strange. Brenton Strange has a really good matchup. He hasn't... he's kind of right around the same target share as Loveland, but his matchup against Indy is really, really good. So if you can get Barner or Brenton Strange, I would do that before Hill. And I would do all of those before Loveland.
Yeah, you can also think about Jake Tunges for San Francisco and
Cal Bear,
yes, in case he's hurt. That was a touchdown. They didn't challenge it, but it was a touchdown. He's got great hands, and if Kittle's hurt, he's going to get some looks.
One of the leagues that I'm in is a 16-team league, and let me find it. So I'm in the championship. I'm projected to win, which doesn't really mean anything because 2 weeks ago I was projected to win and got knocked out of a bunch of them.
Oh boy.
But early in the season, I had Jake Tungus, and for that stretch he had 11.75 against Seattle, 16 against Jacksonville, 19 against the Rams, and 13.8 against Tampa Bay. And then in week 7, Kittle came back, and Tungus just fell off a cliff. But right. I had him for the stretch and nobody else had him. Nobody else.
Right. No.
But I'm a Cal Bear fan, so I be knowing. All right. Mike says, thank you, gentlemen. Steelers or Lions D? Again, Lions are going against Minnesota. That's not a great matchup. JJ's been playing better recently. And then Pittsburgh's D.
And is JJ playing, though, for the Vikings? Did he get hurt?
Oh, no, that's true. He's not. I still say go Steelers D.
Hey, I wrote him last week, and they got me to the Super Bowl, so I can't disagree with that. But, yeah, that's a tough one.
They're not going to get beat by Shedeur Sanders. In fact,
no, they're not.
They're probably at least +1 added turnover to what they can do. And Dylan Sampson is hurt. Quinshon Judkins is out. Raheem Sanders is a probable starter if Dylan Sampson can't go, and then Shedeur isn't like really a threat to move the ball on offense. So if he throws for more than 150 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Steelers, I will be absolutely shocked. All right, I have R.J. Harvey, so if I start Knicks, I have the stack. Sure. Not really like stacks in best ball. That's a huge thing. Not really as much in regular fantasy. Okay, and then Pierce Kelly. The only thing with Hill is they used him as a running back a lot due to injury. I don't see why New Orleans would do that again. I don't know. I don't want to overanalyze. Right, and that's why I said if you can pick up A.J. Barner or Brenton Strange as your tight end, or if there's somebody else that's like hanging out on the waiver wire, Michael Mayer might. There's no Brock Bowers this week, so Michael Mayer could be an emergency stopgap that could be worth a good 5 to 7 targets, which is right around what you're looking at with Strange and Loveland. And Loveland isn't operating as the tight end one, so I say hit the waiver wire. And waivers have passed, so they're just addable right now. You don't have to. All you have to do is like cut somebody, and what? It's redraft, and season's over after this week, so you're not gonna.
Yeah, you don't got to hold on. Anybody on your bench is available.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing, and this is one that I want to talk about. So most waiver periods are like 2 days, which means that Saturday, what you want to do is you want to look at your opponent's lineup, figure out where he has needs. In one of my leagues, my opponent, and this is a money league, and this dude made it to the championship. In the last 2 weeks, he's had Daniel Jones in his quarterback spot, and he made it to the championship. Now, there's almost zero chance that he beats me, but if he like checks his lineup, if somebody in the league tells him, "Hey, bro, you're in the championship," and he goes, "Oh, I didn't even know," and he goes and he needs a quarterback, what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty one roster spot, and then I'm just going to go through all of the starting quarterbacks on waivers, pick up, drop, pick up, drop, pick up, drop, pick up, drop, so that they can't clear waivers before they play. Then he can't get them. And you want to do that with every position. So you drop one player so that you have an empty roster spot, and then you just go through and you pick up and drop all the best options. That's probably a good project for tonight because there are Thursday games tomorrow. There's 3 games, so check those 6 teams that are playing. Pick up and drop the players on those 6 teams, and then do it again for the Saturday games, then do it again for the Sunday games, then do it again for the Monday game, and just make sure that your opponent can't fill those holes. And some people might say, "Oh, that's a cheap strategy or whatever." Hey, we're playing for money. I'm not making friends. I didn't come into this league to make friends. Did I have a friend invite me to the league? Of course. But I don't. If I lose all the friends that I have in the league, so be it. I won the money. It's all about chips, baby. It's not about making friends. It's fantasy football. This is a competition. You want to play free? There are plenty of free leagues. And then who cares?
Nope, that happened to me actually last week. I had Warner on Monday Night Football. I needed him to get 8 points, and he was questionable. And all of a sudden, I see the alert, and the guy I was playing picked up the backup, and I was left with scrambling for I think it was Miami's backup running back, just in case Warner didn't play. But
Jalen Wright.
Yes,
and he scored a touchdown.
Yep. So it happens. They do. It is definitely a play to be made if you want to secure yourself a fantasy win.
Yeah. Fantasy football is not just about drafting and then waiver wire pickups. There's a lot more to it, and that's why you should be watching Fantasy Forecast, Devi Dojo, From the Forum, Breakfast with Bigz in season, Spilled Coffee, all the shows that we do, because not only do we give you who to start and who to sit, and we help you with the roster construction and all that stuff, we also have been playing long enough to know the little ins and outs of like making it hard for other people, playing in dynasty leagues with no trade deadline, and as soon as you're out, you give up assets for future assets. Help somebody in their playoff run, get a bunch of first-round draft picks back. Or if you're in the championship, give up those draft picks and get some studs to help you through the last couple weeks of the season. Look at the upcoming matchups. Look 3-4 weeks out so you know Caleb Williams is about to turn into a pumpkin, but Chase Brown and Travion Henderson are about to hit their ceiling. Those are the kind of insights that we give and why you should be watching and interacting with us and stuff. All right, Tyler Sperry says, Aubrey or Fairbairn is used more? Devontae Smith, Pierce, or Luther Burden? Schultz, Strange. Who is Steely or Tungus? Okay.
Well, Jake Tungus is the backup tight end for the 49ers, and he is a solid play if Kittle is not eligible to go.
Correct.
And he's actually still a good play anyway, because even though Kittle had a great game last week, he still was in there making great plays and contributing. So he's going to get you some points. How many points? I don't know. He's not going to get you Kittle 15, 20 points, but he's going to be in there. He's going to get looks.
He can if Kittle doesn't play.
Yep.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how this reads in English. Okay. Aubrey or Fairbairn. Fairbairn is used more. Devontae Smith, Alec Pierce, or Luther Burden. Schultz, Strange, who is Steely, or Tungus. Okay. Aubrey or Fairbairn, it's a toss-up. Aubrey can have 3 or 4 field goals over 50 yards and absolutely finish his kicker one. Fairbairn is money, so I don't think you can lose there.
Flip a coin.
Devontae Smith, Pierce, or Luther Burden. If you're picking one of them, I'm going with Alec Pierce.
Yeah, me too.
I love him, and I can't wait for him to hit free agency. When I was talking about dynasty leagues, trading away pieces, I was trading away studs to contending teams for getting back Pierce and draft picks. I like Luther Burden. Go ahead.
I was just saying I got Pierce off the waiver wire this year, and he produced for me, so I'm definitely in with Pierce. Can't go wrong with that one.
And next year, 4th year, we've seen some 4th-year breakouts. We just talked about Wan'Dale Robinson. Pierce is gonna sign a big contract with somebody and move up the depth chart and not have as much competition, and he's gonna absolutely explode next year. So I like Pierce. Schultz, Strange, or Tungus. I think this is very, very even too. You're looking at 5 to 7 targets for all of them. You're looking for needing a touchdown, and you can't predict touchdowns. I like the production that Jacksonville has been up to lately, so I like Strange. Watch the George Kittle injury news and maybe pivot to Tungus, and I like them both more than Schultz. Okay. If Kittle plays, do I still play him even if he's not 100%? 100%. Although Barner, of all of these, Barner is my guy. If not Kittle. I go Kittle, Barner, Kincaid, Strange, Loveland, Mayer, Hill. Looks good. Okay. Michael Wilson or Jacoby Myers?
Wilson. You got to go Michael Wilson. He's been on fire. He has stepped up his game. I know Wilson. Jacoby Myers has got a lot of good pedigree, but I just like Michael Wilson. He's the only thing going for Arizona right now. So he's other than the tight end. So he's a must play for me. That's who I would choose.
So his target share over the last 3 weeks, 16 targets, 11 targets, 3 targets. So he was really hurt by Arizona trying to open up the offense and get to more people. That's scary, although he does have the profile to get back up to that double-digit target range, but he didn't last week. And then for Jacoby Myers, over the last 6 weeks, 6, 6, 6, 10, 7, 8. So he's absolutely been a part of the game plan. Yeah, absolutely part of the game plan. His one down week was against Denver, and now he's got Indianapolis. I think I lean Myers. Just more count-onable. Okay, and then... Oh, Strange is streaky? Yes, he is. Okay, all right. See, that's an hour, easy.
Boom.
Easy. And many more people tuning in than on a Sunday morning. Which...
Hey, The games start tomorrow. The Super Bowl for us all starts tomorrow, everybody.
Yeah.
The lineup should be set, and then in the morning you are checking, making sure that if you have anybody in your lineup that is questionable or possibly not out, you are on it all the way up until game time.
Yeah, and also make sure that you don't have any Thursday players in your flex spots. Put them in the regular starting spots, because you don't want to have something change over the course of the weekend and have those Thursday players already have gone and have no flexibility to like kind of move around and pivot. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. On behalf of Charlie, I want to say to everybody, thank you for watching all season. Thank you for all your starts and sits questions. Make sure you're hammering Fantasy Sports Advice Network, both at fantasysportsadvice.com and on YouTube, because fantasy football may be over on Monday night, but we've got content that will be coming to you all year round. We've got feet on the ground, boots on the ground at the Senior Bowl in Mobile. We will have people posted at the Super Bowl, the NFL Combine, the NFL Draft. I got to make my travel arrangements soon. But, yeah, we will have content coming at you 12 months a year, 52 weeks a year, and if you stay ahead of the game, you get that edge, and you just coast through the year. I was invited to a couple of friends leagues this year, and just doing the homework that I naturally do for the show and everything, just absolutely bodied people. They didn't see me coming. They didn't really know who I am. They're not fans. They don't watch me. They don't know what I do, but absolutely just bodied them. And it's not me. I'm not saying I'm great at fantasy football. I'm just saying that I dig deeper than most people. So if you want to just skate, listen to what I have to say, because it's working for me too. So thank you all for watching. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. We will be back with you next week. Dynasty Pulse next Friday drops, and we hope to see you there. Anything you want to say to the people, Charlie?
Just say thank you for having me. Merry Christmas, and I hope we all win Super Bowls.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
We hope you win.
Yes, sir.